What's going on? Hey everybody, Kevin Goatee, Gutting the Sacred Cow. This week we have ourselves a real doozy. In fact, it's the first time we've had a character, kind of sort of from one of the films that we have had on this podcast. We have Sean Kanan from Karate Kid 3 on our podcast today to do the 1984 classic that I avoided for all of these years, Footloose. That's right. Sean hates Footloose, and I did too. But before we get into it, don't forget, and welcome to all of our new fans and friends, please, if you have not yet done so, a 5-star rating, a 2 or 3 sentence review on your podcast platform of choice, and please subscribe to the podcast on YouTube or whatever, again, podcast platform you're on. If you're looking to do any kind of advertising, we're here to help you out, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com, and helping you build your brand and or product. Without further ado, here's Sean Kanan doing Footloose.
Gather round, here's what I know. It's just that this cow has got to go. I know some people kinda like it, yeah, it's trending right now. Yeah, that doesn't matter, 'cause we're gutting the sacred cow.
But you're black. He is.
Lethal Weapon 3.
Oh, you motherfucker. This is Kevin Israel's game. But it's,
I'm so glad he did that. So
but our guest, that's our guest, Sean Kanan. But he's wrong. It is not Lethal Weapon 3.
2.
It's 2.
2.
Yeah.
All right.
But you're black. I love that. It's been on cable nonstop, and guess who gets sucked in every fucking time? This guy.
You know what's weird is driving through the canyons, you see that house all the time. Remember the one that got pulled over the cliff?
Oh yeah.
Right up there. I mean, it's not like a difficult thing to find. You know, it's really prominently in. I forget which canyon it is, but I mean, I've seen it dozens of times.
that's not the same house from Lethal Weapon, is it?
That's what I'm talking about.
No, the South African house that Yeah, that's it. Kevin Goatee, Kevin Israel. Here we are back again, gutting the sacred cow. We have ourselves. This is a first. We've had someone we now have someone on the podcast who is indirectly tied in with the film that we have done on the show, and that is Sean Kanan from Karate Kid 1, 2, 3. As you remember, the Bill and Joanne episode where they did the live show with us only a few weeks ago. And we, by the way, Sean, we played your voicemail you left, Bill, on the air.
No, what did it say? I don't even remember what I said. Probably something completely inappropriate.
I would love to paraphrase. I know you called Bill Schultz a pencil neck geek. That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's nothing I wouldn't say anytime to Bill.
And you said Joanne could keep dreaming of you while she sleeps.
Now I remember. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
Sean Kanan, the bad boy of Karate Kid 3. So here we are, kids. Look at this. We're hitting the star power, huh? But Sean, unfortunately, has not selected Karate Kid 3. Sean has chosen a film
that would maybe be somewhat counter effective for my career in the Cobra Kai Karate Kid universe. So I did decide to stay away from that.
Can you tell everybody, have you been cast for Cobra Kai season 4?
We shall see, my friend. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Terry Silver is in this motherfucker. Yes. I don't 100%. I saw the end and I go, oh, he's in this.
There's been no announcement that he's in Cobra Kai.
They foreshadowed. You're right. There's been no announcement.
A lot of foreshadowing.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, Sean, congratulations. You've chosen a film that I have absolutely no desire to see, nor have I seen. And a few other, actually, Joanne Noshasinski and our other esteemed, one of our friends of the show, Juliet Miranda, have chosen 3 films I had no desire to see, but this fucking podcast made me. The first one was Grease, and boy, did that fucking suck. Juliet made me sit through Pretty in Pink. Boy, Was that terrible? Oh, David, the producer, made me sit through Dirty Dancing. Never saw that till a few months ago. And now Sean Kanan, the bad boy of comedy, Mike Barnes, has made me sit through for the first time Footloose.
Footloose. Yeah.
Oh, you motherfucker. A 1984, it came out, an $8.2 million budget. A gross of $80 million at the time, so big fucking money. Now let's turn that into 2021 dollars. $20.8 million budget. $208 million gross in 2020.
Pretty big hit.
Huge.
Yeah.
Pretty big hit indeed.
They even made a reboot. Did you see that one too, Sean?
I didn't. I think going back and seeing the original was enough for me, and I felt that I really
I saw the reboot.
experienced that. How was the reboot?
It was hard. Miles Teller is in it though, which is surprising.
I love him. He's a kid drummer from Whiplash.
From Whiplash, yeah.
Okay, all right.
He's like a legit good actor, and yeah, he's in it, and movie's a mess.
Well,
No, was it
go
a
ahead, Sean.
pretty accurate approximation of the original, or was it?
It was, if I remember correctly, it was beat for beat the original.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't. It wasn't. It's not like there's a lot of new ground to cover in this movie to begin with. Like,
It merited being remade again. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's some movies you don't remake. You don't remake The Godfather, and you don't remake for other reasons.
you
Completely.
don't remake Point Break, but they did that.
And RoboCop. Fuck them. Oh, speaking of Miles Teller, here's a fun fact. Do you know he was supposed to play the lead in La La Land, but his agent took his sweet ass time getting back to them that they had to go and change to Gosling?
That was a mistake.
Really? Because I mean,
Yes,
listen.
and I'll one up you. Here's why. Damien Chazelle, who directed Whiplash, that's his boy, also did La La Land.
Okay, interesting, because you don't normally associate Ryan Gosling and the other guy with the same ability to sort of open a film, but okay, sure. Get a new agent, right? I mean,
And he did.
Anyway.
Kevin Israel and I need to get agents. That's what we need to do first.
What, do you guys all have someone that never calls you back too? Good.
Yeah, comedy bookers.
Yeah. And people who and showrunners for all these shows I have. Let's do it. IMDb, as we all know, is a scale 1 through 10 with decimal points. Sean Kanan, what did Footloose score on the old IMDb scale?
Here's the thing. There were some very positive aspects about the film, so I'm not gonna completely trash it. Yeah, I'll give it like a 6. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. There was very solid acting in it.
Whoa. This is not your breakdown time. I'm asking what did IMDb's.
Are you asking what they did or what I would give?
Yeah. No. I'm asking what IMDb has Footloose rated right now.
Yeah, what they give it?
Now I'm asking you. This is free time.
Was I supposed to? It was supposed to be homework. I was supposed to.
No. I have the answer right here.
Wait, so one to
10 with decimal points.
Ooh, I'm thinking it got about a 7.8.
Kevin Israel?
A solid guess. I'm going to go a little lower. I'm going to go 7-1.
6-6.
Wow.
One more 6 from the number of the
right.
beast.
One more 6 and
Yeah. Okay. I can't do Judas Priest. Rotten Tomatoes, as we know, is a 1 through 100 score, all obviously percentages. Kevin Israel, Rotten Tomatoes audience score. What did Footloose score?
This is definitely going to be higher than the critics, so I'm gonna go a little higher. I'm going to go 79.
Sean Kanan.
wow, I was going to say 78. So okay.
52 for the people.
No shit.
Really?
Wow, I'm shocked.
Right.
Critics score, Sean Kanan.
What's the scale?
Same scale, 1 to 100.
The critics score. I'm going to say 66.
Kevin Israel.
Yeah, knowing the audience went so low. I'm with Sean. I'm going to go 61.
71.
Okay.
This was a critics darling?
I guess there wasn't much out then.
Yes.
right?
I'm double checking. I'm gonna make sure I wrote that down right, because that does definitely seem a bit off in my book. Quotes. They sell men's clothes. Where you got that? Hey, I like that when they said that back in 1980 when Rodney Dangerfield said that in Caddyshack. That's the only quote I have. Kevin Israel.
Right. It's a nice hat. Do you get a free bowl of soup with it?
Give me 2 of those. Give me 6 of those. Oh, that's the worst looking hat I ever saw. Hey, orange balls. Give me a box of those Naked Lady tees. Give me 2 of those. Give me 6 of those. Sean Kanan, I'm your Huckleberry for Caddyshack.
Yeah, you just went into the rain.
That was a good one.
My all-time favorite.
I got 2 quotes. I thought only assholes use the word pansy,
Right?
which I thought was an oddly like social defense for 1984. I feel like everybody would have been down with the word pansy in 84.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
And
the
then,
language was a lot of very stilted language that didn't age well in the film, right?
Yeah, no, there's a ton. And then, when's the last time you saw your dick? Which happened in the bar during the fight. It said real quick, but I was like, that's kind of funny.
Right.
Not a very quotable movie.
No,
not really. I did like when Chris Penn and Kevin Bacon are in the car and Kevin Bacon asks him about Men at Work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he wanted to know where they were. It was kind of like an homage to the Who's on First.
It was. I said it was very Abbott and Costello moment.
Yeah. Right.
That's the most smart writing this film has seen the entire time. Let's just leave it at that. 5 fun facts. The producers wanted whom to star in this film? I'm going to give you. Oh, you son of a bitch. Tom Cruise is one of them, but he had a scheduling conflict with All the Right Moves. Give me 2 more people. One person considered, and another guy auditioned and blew out his ACL while auditioning.
Okay, blowing out the ACL was Rob Lowe.
Good God, you are good.
God damn.
And I don't know.
Footloose Devant over here.
Actually, I think John Lithgow screen tested for the role. They just didn't think it worked out well for him with the dance. So he wound up playing the Reverend. I don't know who was the third guy.
Yeah, I don't
Kevin
know.
Israel, you got a guess?
Um,
I'll give you a hint. Later.
1980. Oh wait, Patrick Swayze?
No.
that's too old.
Well, Swayze was in Red Dawn, and then he danced around in Dirty Dancing. So whatever. Okay.
Don't you blaspheme Red Dawn, friend.
Oh, listen, it is overrated. It is overrated. I'm the first to stand on that fucking hill. I'll see
I like Red Dawn.
Oh.
So do I.
All right. Well, the answer is Kevin Costner.
What?
Get out.
Yeah.
Played the kid?
I guess he did such a good job. Yeah, he did such a good job playing the corpse in The Big Chill. They had to have him for this.
He had to be.
So Kevin Costner's got to be a good 9 or 10 years older than Kevin Bacon, right?
I would
Kevin
have said he was in his 30s, but when this was made.
Yeah, I mean, like he's supposed to be a high school kid in his 30s.
Because Bacon was 24 when it was made.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is one of my commentaries on the film.
All right. Hold on. Before you get to that, I know you're fucking shot up like Dwight Gooden and Lenny Dykstra, the 86 Mets clubhouse, getting ready to snort heroin off each other's assholes.
By the way, so I was over at Compound Media and I just finished doing Bill's show. Like, God, this must have been over a year ago. And Lenny Dykstra was coming in and was the next guest on it. Yeah. And
he did our podcast. I did it, now defunct. This is right when his book came out. And my buddy Jeff Paul also, who was on the show, we're big baseball guys. We're talking baseball, and Lenny's, he's like, all right, these guys know what we're talking about. Then I go, Lenny, let's cut the bullshit. What are the best city and the worst city for pussy? And he lit up like it was Christmas fucking morning. He goes, let me tell you, the worst city is Pittsburgh by far. He goes, all the coal miners just fuck their cousins and no bullshit. All those women are horrendous. He goes, so to have my buddy go get a U-Haul, yes, literally a U-Haul full of booze, go to University of Pittsburgh, excuse me, and bring some of the gals from college up to my penthouse when we were playing the Pirates at home.
wow.
That's a story, right? All right.
Different era.
Number 2, there was actually a third person considered for the role. Christopher Atkins. Does that name ring a bell?
Sure, Blue Lagoon.
Right, but guess what? He was under the influence of drugs and or alcohol when he met with the producers and the director before taking a vacation where he's planning to have more fun, in quotes. When he found out he lost the role, Atkins had a breakdown and was hospitalized.
Wow. I thought it was because you read the script. He just read the script. Hey-o.
Sarah Jessica Parker was considered for the role, but also considered for the lead role Michelle Pfeiffer, Jamie Lee Curtis, Rosanna Arquette, Meg Ryan, Jodie Foster, and Bridget Fonda.
Wow.
Here's another fun fact. Kevin Bacon turned down the role in Christine to do Footloose. And Daryl Hannah turned down Footloose to do Splash.
Yeah.
Daryl Hannah and the girl who played the lead have a very similar quality, I think.
No, Daryl Hannah was hot. Last one. John Lithgow and Diane Wiest skinny dipped in the hotel pool during filming. Guess who now has something else to picture to keep in his mind while having sex with my wife so I don't come too damn fast?
Oh my God. Just a very white John Lithgow. Just very pale man.
It's like if you threw 2 forks in a microwave and turned it on high for 10 minutes.
Interesting little side note fact. My cousin, when he played Little League, John Lithgow was his coach. So
I don't ever imagine John Lithgow knows the first fucking thing about baseball.
He was the coach.
I had coaches who didn't know shit about baseball.
That's Little League.
Yeah. Run! Which way? That's 5 fun facts. But listen, Kevin Israel, as I said before, Sean Kanan is dying, took such glee to tell me he's going to do Footloose. So let's not keep the man waiting any longer so he can fucking karate chop through this cinder block. It is now time for Sean Kanan to gut the sacred cow.
Yeah, okay, look, let's start with the positives. Like I said, I think the acting on whole was not bad. Great soundtrack for the time. Some of the music still holds up, right? But my problems with the film were not the acting, but the absolutely ridiculous microcosm that they created in this world, this little town. I mean, first of all, it's this little tiny town, and like the reverend who's got his finger on the pulse of any any scandal and any bad behavior going on doesn't know that like his daughter is already banging some loser smoking pot. So there's that. It just seems like he's really out of touch. That kind of bothered me. I also found it interesting that in a town that is banned dancing, everybody can dance like it's American Bandstand. I mean, what's that about? I mean, so I found that a little bit weird. What else did I find weird about it and just really pissed me off? Okay, so this whole thing with Kevin Bacon being like a gymnast, that kind of seemed shoehorned in there. And then you're in like Podunk, USA, and they've got a gymnastics team. Yeah, that just sounds a little weird. And then to build upon that, what is he going like? One of the where's he doing his "I'm an angry dude" dance? Because that's what every prepubescent boy does when they get angry, is they dance like Billy Elliot. And so there's like a gymnastics bar in that thing, So I just felt like a lot of it was pretty damn improbable, and I think it was. Some of that ridiculousness was heightened by the fact that the majority of these high school kids looked like they were 35 years old. So those are my big beefs with it. That and the fact that basically at the end of the day, it's like if you took a flash dance and you put it in like rural wherever and had a male lead, and it was like a much less interesting version of Flashdance, I thought.
But Flashdance was at least good.
Well, yeah, because the chick was hot. I mean,
That helps. Oh, that helps.
And she's, yeah.
I had a note here. I was going to make a comment. You think a town like that, being very religiously centrified with the preacher, not very tolerant toward gayish tendencies or activities, like, as you said, male gymnastics. I just don't see them getting on. Come on, boy, get on that pommel horse, and doing a BE aggressive.
The high school was either entertaining gymnastics or synchronized swimming, so they went with the gymnastics. But it just like they created this town and this mentality and all this crap, and it just seemed like so overly naive and so sort of. You know, remind me of, what was that movie with M. Night Shyamalan, where they're living as if it's like, you know,
The
Village,
right? Like it's complete group of people that are completely outside, you know, they're like anachronistic, you know what I mean? They're living like it's what, 1800?
Right.
And it just, I mean, and at one point, you know, Chris Penn says, well, we got TV. Well, I mean, if you got TV, it seems that, you know, you would be a little more socially aware and, you know, up to speed on things. So I don't know. I felt like they kind of, I don't know, is gilded the lily the right expression?
Yes.
They kind of gilded the lily to shoehorn in that, you know, this was this incredibly uptight and sort of, I don't even want to say backwards, but socially repressed town. And I don't know, for me, not so believable. I did think Kevin Bacon did a good job. A lot of really silly dialogue that has not aged well. God, what did he say? Oh God, there was one thing he said that just, I don't even remember. But he had that like Rick Springfield homage down when he goes to his first day of school with like the skinny tie and the jacket. You know, he had that very indicative of the 80s look. I don't know. And you know, look, we've all seen Rebel Without a Cause, right? When they do the chicken run.
Sure.
I mean, you see a chicken run with tractors going 10 miles an hour, a bit anticlimactic.
Oh, you stole my point, you fucker.
You know, it's like, really, you can't jump off, your shoelace got caught. Really? How about taking your fucking shoe off, okay? You know, that seems like a pretty good idea. Just kick your shoe off and jump. You know, don't insult my
or riding a tractor barefoot like the character would make you think to believe that that's a common occurrence.
Right. Yeah, operating heavy power equipment barefoot, probably not your best move.
Yeah. And tractors top out at, I think, 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
10?
Yeah.
10? What are they, moonwalking?
I don't think they go 10 miles an hour.
Sean, any more points?
Oh, God, any more points? I don't know. You know, I just, I found about every 10 minutes of the movie, something was bugging me.
Right.
And just when I would start to kind of allow myself to get into it, you know, the movies, the music's nostalgic. You know, I'm a definite child of the 80s. You know, this was the era when I was in high school growing up. And so, you know, it did have a little bit of that appeal for me. And then they would just do something really stupid that would piss me off and, you know, remind me that Kevin Bacon lost all of his money to Bernie Madoff. And I just kind of didn't feel as badly for him as I probably should have.
I forgot he was a Madoff victim.
Yeah.
Oof.
That was rough.
Sean, give me a score 1 to 10 of Footloose. Your score.
You know, I don't know. I'm going to commit it about a 5. I'm going to commit it a
5? Really?
Yeah.
For someone who hates it, you give it a 5
out of 10.
Yes, 5 out of 10.
It's failing grade. I mean, 50%'s failing. So, I mean, you know, like I said, though, it did have a couple of positive aspects to it.
Which were what again? Besides, you said the acting, the soundtrack.
I thought Kevin Bacon was very good in it.
Okay,
I did. I think he was very good in it. I thought, you know, John Lithgow and Diane Lee's always good in everything they do. The soundtrack was really great. You know, I mean, a little dated now, but at the time it was a great soundtrack. You know, it's interesting that I read that Kevin Bacon had 4 stunt doubles for the film.
yes,
And, you know, one for the gymnastics, a couple for the dancing, all that sort of stuff. So that also kind of took me out of it because once you know that, you're really kind of able to pick up you know, when it's not him. It's like watching, you know, the original Star Trek episodes, and you would see like the fight scenes, and suddenly like you'd see Shatner and his shirt would come up and you would see his girdle on, and then all of a sudden you'd see like another actor from behind being Shatner. It's kind of
Suddenly it's a black guy.
Extends the reality.
All right, I'm gonna shit in your point. So fine, stunt doubles, that takes you out of it. You mean to tell me when you see all the fucking Terminator movies and other Rambo films, when you know it's not Stallone Schwarzenegger, that doesn't take you out?
That's not true at all. They don't use stunt doubles.
Oh yes, they do. Oh yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because there's one scene in Terminator 2 where he jumps over the bridge and in front of the truck, clearly not. Clearly, I saw that in 1991. By the way, how old do I feel now? Are we all old? Bill? Terminator 2 is going to be 30 years old this summer.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Right? And it's a great fucking movie, and it still holds up beautifully.
It stands up.
It's perfect.
Stands up.
Oh,
Perfect. It's a perfect film. Perfect film. Kevin Israel, would you like to go first today?
Sure, I would love to. So I'm going to be honest. When Kev told me that you had chosen this movie, I remember liking Footloose. I remember.
But when did you see?
I mean, I'm probably a few years younger than you, but I was brought up in the 80s, but I probably haven't seen it for 15 years.
Why do we see the same movies over and over again, right? The movies don't change, but the eyes with which we see the movies change.
And I think I definitely, I probably saw it last in maybe in my 20s. Maybe it's 20 years ago.
Right.
And I mean,
I could see really enjoying it then.
Right.
But now, not so much.
But the beats of the movie, and basically what the movie's about. All this stupid the main scenes of him dancing through the paper factory or whatever that was. But the movie, my biggest problem with the movie, before getting into my specific points, is the overall storytelling of the movie is terrible. And Sean was dead on with the point that so much was shoehorned in. I feel like the writers of this movie had like a couple of scenes that they came up with, and they're like, we want a guy dancing in a factory, and we want a big dance number at the end, and we want a church. Go with that. Right. And then they just made, because the movie never flows together. The scenes don't flow together. Stuff just kind of happens, and you have to understand what's happening. You get introduced to Kevin Bacon's character, Ren, which is a terrible name for a character. And you don't really know exactly why he's there. It's obvious that his family just moved there, but you don't get a lot of that backstory. You finally find out that I think the father left the mother.
The father left, yeah.
And that's kind of just, that's sort of told as an aside, and that's kind of why he's mad. And they keep saying that he's dangerous and he's this bad boy and he's truck. And it's like, he drives a Volkswagen Beetle.
Guy likes to dance.
Right. He's a gymnast who dances and drives a Volkswagen. Like, he's the least threatening bad boy.
Although I will say this though, the yellow Volkswagen that he drove, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the same car Ted Bundy drove? So Ted Bundy definitely drove a Volkswagen. It was the yellow or brown, so maybe, I don't know.
You might be right.
I was gonna say I've seen more badasses in Jim Cotta than this film.
Wait, what was that guy's name? Oh God, I just saw a funny show.
We just talked about Jim Cotta.
We did? No, we didn't.
We just maybe I wasn't having a conversation with you. I just recently brought up Jim Cotta.
Oh.
Yeah, Jim Cotta.
What's that?
The problem is, I think everyone knows it's horrible. I don't think anyone's like, Jesus, you're going to gut the sacred cow of Jim Cotta? How dare you, sir?
I just remember the final scene had a pommel horse in the middle of middle of like a I don't know where, in a square where he was fighting, and he just starts spinning around on the pommel horse and kicking everybody. I was like, why would that ever be anywhere besides a gymnasium? But speaking of a gymnasium, the whole thing, and like you said, the whole thing with him being on the gymnastics team, that was never even really talked about. There's just suddenly a scene where he's doing gymnastics with the guy, with the redneck kid, and it's just there's no reason for him to be doing that
whatsoever.
And then you find out later that he gets kicked off the team that you never see him on. You never see him with the team. You never see him competing. Right. You just see that one scene of him flipping around alone in the gym with the friend, and then suddenly he's kicked off the team. The movie just flows terribly together.
Yeah, I they could have done a lot more work on developing the character, because there probably would have been some interesting stuff there that would have given it some depth, right?
Right. Well, the whole idea of this really conservative town that doesn't dance, and I agree that it does feel a little bit anachronistic in that if this movie was set in like the early 1900s, I might have been able to buy into it. But in the 1980s, where people were just batshit crazy, doing drugs and dancing and all that stuff,
or cocaine, dancing till
right,
yeah,
right. So it's a little hard to swallow, and I think we've just seen so many movies since then with big real problems. Just the idea of like, they won't let us dance. It's like, really? Then fucking move. Like, that's the biggest problem you have in your life. You can't dance. Like, Jesus Christ, get out of that town. Like, this isn't the end of the world. Like, we've seen movies where there are meteors coming at Earth. You can go dance somewhere else.
I feel like there's that opening scene where they're all at what basically look like Arnold's from Happy Days. They're all hanging out there, and like Larry Singer brings out this boom box, okay, and everybody inside the place hears the boom box. Everybody a mile away hears it. The preacher hears it and comes and turns it off. I mean, it just like, it goes back to what you said about, they needed to have a scene where, it's demonstrated that music bad. The preacher is kind of the he's keeping all the kids from doing that, and he's constantly watching them. It just felt kind of phony to me.
Yeah, 100% agree. So when the movie kicked off, within the first 5 minutes, I was like, and this will ring relevant to Sean. I was immediately like, is this Karate Kid with dancing? Because the movie runs so much like the Karate Kid. It's this kid who gets moved into this town where he's not accepted. He tries to make friends. He gets picked on by the locals, and he gets wrapped up with this girl who, by the way, much like what's her name in Karate Kid, Allie
with an eye. Allie with an eye.
This girl is dead set on getting Kevin Bacon's ass beat. Like, this girl is nothing but trouble. All she does is see him, and she's like, I'm going to bang him, and then I'm going to get him murdered.
Right.
She is close to being Allie as one of the worst female characters in a movie. Because all she does is just look to get him in trouble. And at least I give Kevin Bacon's character credit, because he kind of sees it. And I think even at one point he even says, like, your boyfriend's just going to beat the shit out of me. I'm not hanging out with you. But where Daniel is just like, yeah, let's go do whatever. I don't care if these guys in skulls are going to beat the shit out of me. It's worth it.
I think it's Cobra Kai too, that they turned this thing on its head, that, Daniel was the bully,
right,
and that John was more the victim, so.
Right.
But the only difference, though, was Ren going to push start a tractor like Daniel had to push start his mom's car?
That's funny.
The scene where she's in the car and then she's split between the two cars and they're driving at the truck.
Here it comes.
That was
ridiculous.
The most mind-blowing. Like, first of all, it didn't make sense for her character to be doing that.
No.
It didn't make sense that her friends would let it happen. It didn't physically, just in physics, when she suddenly ends up in the car, she would have never ended up in the car. She would have fallen in the middle of the road and been run over by the truck. That whole scene was just so batshit crazy, and they should have immediately taken her to a psychiatrist.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think she tries to kill herself 2 or 3 times in the movie.
Easily.
Nobody seems to be too good. What was with the train and the whole thing, and it's like nobody's real concerned with this girl's mental health.
Right.
The dad's concerned about what music you're listening to, but not the fact that his daughter's got suicidal ideology.
Right.
Well, what about Quentin Tarantino stealing this idea for Death Proof 15 years later?
It's so true. It's so true. That's a great call.
Really interesting thing. Wouldn't it be cool if directors like Quentin Tarantino picked films from the 80s and redid them, but completely in their tonality?
Oh, wait, ready? Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Footloose, but everyone dances in their bare feet.
Yeah. And
that's what he does.
The movie would never get edited because Tarantino would just have a boner the whole time and not be able to actually manipulate the controls.
Guy's got a serious foot fetish, doesn't he?
Creepy.
He does.
So nothing. So then Bacon makes his first friend in school, and their whole little meet cute as friends. He bumps into him. That looks like there's about to be a fight. He insults him, and then they're friends, and that's it. That's all you.
Right.
That's how. At least they could have fought. I thought they would fight almost like the Robin Hood, Little John type moment, and then become friends.
That would have been good. And then if Kevin Bacon is like this amazing gymnast, you know, he would stand to reason that he probably is pretty good at martial arts too. You know, Jim Cotta, missed all over the place.
Right, exactly. So the tractor race that we already talked about, I think that's the one thing the Fast and the Furious franchise hasn't tried. Like, hopefully Vin Diesel never sees this movie because he's going to be like, you know what, we got to do that.
We got this.
I live my life a quarter of a cornfield at a time.
Right?
And I'm not going to lie, I'm desperately curious to know what the collision would look like if those two tractors hit each other. Because I have to think they would just kind of hit and stop moving. Like, it wouldn't be
7 miles an hour, and it's basically like a safe with wheels. I mean,
right.
How messed up is it going to get?
Right.
So,
the tractor got more damage by him jumping off it than if he let them just collide into each other.
Right. I'd be curious to hear what Kevin Bacon thought of the remake. You know, he kind of has to say nice stuff about it. You know what I mean? It's like,
I'm sure he hated it.
You know.
I'm sure it was terrible.
Yeah.
The dancing in the factory scene is one of the most ridiculous montages I've ever seen. And it makes absolutely no sense. It is utter horseshit. And because you know what? Nothing calms me down like a beer, a smoke, and a good angry dance. I really want it. And by the way, that little Volkswagen Bug must have the best stereo system in the world that music can play throughout an entire factory, and he can dance to it. I'm pretty sure it had 2 speakers putting out 15 watts back then.
I mean, it's almost like if the movie wanted to kind of be a musical but wouldn't commit. You know what I mean? It's like we kind of want to be a musical with big dance numbers, but we realized that would probably make this even.
And I think they also realized that everybody couldn't really dance. Like it would have all just been doubles doing the dancing.
Fun fact, another bonus one. They reshot the ending because they shot it in slow motion, and they went out and scoured clubs for people who can dance for the ending for that exact reason. The actors couldn't dance.
Really? Wow. Yeah, I read they had to work they really had to work to try and teach Chris Penn to move. They said they related it to wrestling for him for some reason. I guess maybe he was a wrestler. I don't know. And that eventually, you know, was the conduit to teaching Chris Penn to trip the light fantastic. So he just. Jesus.
So then the girl shows up out of nowhere. How she knew he was at the factory, I have no idea. She just shows up and she delivers one of the most ridiculous lines. She goes, "You don't think much of me, do you? Think much of you? I don't even know you, lady.
Know you.
And get out of my car. You're ruining my angry dance buzz. Why are you here? Leave me alone. You're just going to get me murdered by your redneck friends."
That's an excellent point. How did she know he was there? I mean, they don't even have cable TV, let alone LoJack. So how the fuck did she track him down?
Right. And Sean's point was also a great one, that the father is supposed to be so overbearing and so on top of his kids. She goes out every night, gets drunk and fucked, and does whatever she wants, and then comes back she must have been doing this for years. And then finally he hits her once, and it was like, wow, that's what it took you to hit her?
That's what it took to do it, yeah.
Not her coming back smelling like booze, weed, and cock.
Jizz.
Like, right? Well, you know what they say about preachers' kids, man? They're the wild ones.
Oh yeah.
You know, I had a friend he was a preacher's kid, and they call them PKs. It's like a thing.
Pussy kryptonite? Oh no.
Pussy kryptonite. I like that.
So my last point is, when she comes out of the house for the dance, I didn't realize that she was emaciated. She is the skinniest, I think, one of the skinniest actresses I've ever seen. And her father is so concerned about her dancing and getting with boys. He should have been more concerned about her very obvious eating disorder.
Yeah. She's got an eating disorder, the suicidal ideologies. I mean, she's a dumpster fire, this kid. And
Yeah.
the dad is oblivious to it.
Oh, come on. But she drinks and fucks. Guys, she sounds like a 10 in all of our books.
Right. She'd be a great girl to date, not one to be your daughter.
Yeah, the dad was like, hold on. You think you're going out wearing that? Eat a fucking burger first.
Right.
Oh, and I do have one other point that I missed.
Sure.
Anytime a person, I'd say probably over 16, especially a girl, calls their father daddy, it creeps me out.
Yeah.
And she just kept calling him daddy. And the way he spoke to her and looked at her, I was getting a very I'm fucking my daughter vibe.
I mean, I was expecting Chris Hansen to come in at any moment.
It was, I was just, I mean, obviously it's not that movie, but there was just such a creepy pedophile incest vibe from Lithgow that, and knowing that he was at the church, it was just creepy. But
and I get flashes of him from, the world according to Garp and Drag. Well, it wasn't Drag, I guess. It was sexual, but I just kept, he was great in that though. That was a good movie.
Yes, that was a good movie.
Unlike
this movie.
Anyone, I think you like.
Say that again?
He may have won the Oscar for that. I'm not sure.
Well, if he didn't win it for that, he sure as shit should have wore it for Harry the Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons? Yeah. Yeah. We did that creeping movie where he played twins.
Raising Cain.
Raising Cain. That was kind of fun.
Never saw it. Just remember the name of that.
Good call, brother.
He was also pretty good in Cliffhanger with Stallone.
Oh my God, I was going to say that. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow, I've only seen that movie once.
Yeah, he was very good in that. I did a film. I did a film that was a kind of low budget. No, it wasn't kind of low budget. It was a low budget film. And what they did was they bought the footage from Cliffhanger of everybody up on the mountain. And so, but like the long shots, okay? And so all of our wardrobe, all the characters matched what those characters in Cliffhanger were wearing, right? So you would see us in this little tiny movie out in the snow, and then they cut back, and it would be like this $10 million sweeping shot. And they also had stuff that from an airplane that they bought and cut in. So this little tiny movie that was probably like $1 million, suddenly looked like a $50 million movie. So,
what's the name of this movie? I need to know.
Well, it had two names, believe it or not, which is weird. Sometimes movies have an initial name and then they change the name. It was called Extreme Limits with Treat Williams.
I'm definitely watching that.
Yeah.
Treat Williams, the king of TV movies himself.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but he's done some big features.
Yeah.
He was in, what was that Brad Pitt movie about the IRA with Devil's Own?
Devil's Own, right?
Devil's Own.
No,
Yeah.
that wasn't bad.
I didn't see that just because didn't see it. Kevin,
So in the end, as far as Footloose goes, this was an extreme disappointment. Sean is right. It did the soundtrack holds up, especially for that time. It's very nostalgic. The movie itself is a disaster. The pacing is all off. The storytelling is terrible. Kevin Bacon was very likable in it, but it just
wasn't he? You can't fault the guy for. I mean, it's not like he tanked the movie.
No, not at all. But he wasn't given really anything to work with, and his character was never really developed. So I was actually disappointed at how much I didn't like this movie because I thought KG and I were going to be at odds on this one, but this was.
Oh, really?
This movie's a shit fest.
It's pretty bad, and I mean the fact that I kind of got the flavor about 3/4 of the way through. I didn't really feel like it required any more research, but I forced myself to watch the whole thing.
We appreciate that.
Already going through the opening credits monologue of just seeing everyone's feet dancing and tapping was annoying enough.
Yep.
But in for a penny, in for a pound. I watched the whole thing.
Yep.
Give me a number, Kevin. Give me a number, Kevin Israel.
4.
Oof, worse than our guess. This is great.
Yeah.
These notes brought to you by Gutting the Sacred Cow.
There's still people involved with that film that potentially I will work with someday. So I gotta take my bet. I can't just slag everybody. I'm gonna wind up walking into an audition one time, and it's gonna be like, what are the creative forces of the film? And just, yeah.
Well, Sean, that's a good news for our podcast because if we can have that kind of reach, that means we fucking made it. So there.
Right, guys, you've arrived.
These notes brought to you by guttingthesacredcow.com. Kevin Israel, why don't you show everybody, a la Price is Right girls, the coffee mug that you can get from our website. You can get t-shirts, hats, bags, hoodies, cell phone holders, you name it. You can get it at guttingthesacredcow.com. Make sure you go over and give us a 5-star rating, 2-sentence, 3-sentence review on your podcast platform of choice. And hey, we're on Patreon now. So if you want to kick a few bucks our way, because we give you all this fantastic free content, including those free blogs Monday through Friday, well, go right ahead and be a saint. Patreon.com/guttingthesacredcow. Notes. Sarah Jessica Parker was in the TV show Square Pegs, which perfectly describes the wart she has in her face.
Jesus.
That hit Sean real good there. He just laughed and nodded because he goes, oh, what if I have to work with her too?
She's a very nice person.
I absolutely, positively fucking despise the song Footloose. It is an immediate knee-jerk reaction. When I hear that song on the radio, I immediately change the channel. And I love Kenny Loggins. I love All Right from Caddyshack. I love Danger Zone. Love it. Love Danger Zone. Hell,
Danger Zone's great.
Nobody's Fool from the worst sequel of all time, Caddyshack 2, is a good song, but I fucking hate Footloose. That song makes me wretch. It was on the do not fucking playlist at my wedding. So there.
So Kevin Bacon apparently, when he goes to places where there's a DJ, pays the DJ not to play it.
Yep, read that.
And I can understand it because I'll tell you something. I went to Malaysia for a tennis tournament like 30 years ago, and Dionne Warwick was one of the people that was one of the celebs who went. And every time we would walk into a restaurant or a bar, they would play "Do You Know the Way to San Jose?" And like the first 3 times, it's kind of cute and it's like flattering, and then by the end of it, you know, she was like, "Fucking hey, could they just stop playing?" Oh.
I'm more surprised they didn't play "You're the Best Around" when you walked in the door.
I should literally have a guy with, you know, a boombox walking behind me playing that song everywhere I go because I am the best.
So you have a Radio Raheem behind you at all times. Love it.
Right? Oh, nice call, Radio Raheem.
You're goddamn right it is a nice call. The side effects of growing up in a boring town may include straddling moving cars, as well as possible death by drunk driving or driving the wrong lane. Please take a caution. Did you guys notice, because I love screaming out, oh my God, that's so-and-so. Kevin Bacon's mom in this film, Lorraine McFly's mother in 1955 Back to the Future 1.
Wow. Oh.
Wow. Saw that, and I paused it. I go, 15 seconds, and I'm going to get this. And I thought,
you know what I thought? I think I might be wrong about this, but I thought at first that the guy who played the main bully that he had the tractor thing with, I thought that was the guy that Richard Gere beat up in An Officer and a Gentleman Outside the Bar. I may be wrong. They look very, very similar.
I haven't seen Officer and a Gentleman in 15, 20 years. No, I haven't. I said I haven't seen it in 15, 20 years, I'm saying.
Come on, it's great.
Is this a rewatch movie, Sean? That is not a rewatch movie.
Where else to go? It's such a good movie.
Until you realize, oh, that man shoved a gerbil up his ass many times.
No. Listen, if we were all judged on our darkest moments, if I had a nickel, you know.
If you had a nickel for every time someone shoved a gerbil in your ass, Sean.
I'll tell you.
You and Ralph Macchio got drunk on the set of Karate Kid 3 and did the old gerbil game. Well, that's a different story.
Happened.
I need a lighter and a toilet paper roll.
Kevin.
Wait, can I digress for a second to tell you one really big funny story? So my wife used to work in a hospital, and a guy came in one time, and he had this really distended belly, and so they gave him an X-ray, and the radiology tech comes out, and he's just like shaking his head. He can't figure out what the hell's going on because they saw like the image of all these little faces in his stomach, and the guy had a mental problem where he couldn't stop himself from eating Barbie heads. And he had eaten so many Barbie heads, they were poking out of his stomach. So yeah, a gerbil in the ass, that's weird, sure. But I mean, because it's living, but I mean, Barbie heads, you know, he ate 70 of them.
70.
I mean, they cut the guy open and they're like, yeah, so.
Well, my question is, how long did it take for Pat Morita to heal from that surgery there, Sean?
Come on. Pat is the sacred cow.
And all I want to know is, was it with the hair or without the hair?
Good question, right? It would have really shaved each head individually, right?
I'll find you.
I love that.
Thank you. Kevin Israel, get ready for a That Doesn't Happen. No one dances while playing video games. That doesn't happen unless you're playing Dance Dance Revolution, in which the game is a dance the entire time.
Right. Dance Dance Revolution.
But no one dances while playing video games. As a video game veteran for 40 fucking years, no.
That doesn't happen.
Since we've all been to restaurants where a song hits and everyone starts dancing like this film, right? No, that doesn't happen. Unless you're at a Johnny Rockets or a Disney World themed restaurant, or you're the monster, or you're that monster who eats at strip clubs. One of those three.
And by the way, that song she played at the restaurant was the worst song in the movie.
Right.
And they all got so excited about it.
Right. Did anyone ever have a strap for their books while growing up? I know they're in the middle of nowhere, but Christ almighty, didn't the invention of book bags make their way over yonder?
Yeah.
We got TVs, but not them fancy knapsacks.
Yeah. Anyone else watch this film and waiting for Chris Penn to scream at Ren, "Don't you point that gun at my fucking dad!"
He looked really good, didn't he? I mean, he looked like he was really in shape and everything, and then he went on to look like he ate Chris Penn.
Right.
But I mean, he was,
He ate Sean Penn and he ate Cal Penn on top of it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
See, Kevin, the references know no boundaries. Church and school probation for going to concert across state lines. This sounds worse than double secret probation, right, guys?
Secret probation, yeah.
I think Chad.
You get the horns, right?
I think Chad is the kid who will grow up to be a wife and child beater, the bully.
Sure.
Oh.
Sure.
Kevin Bacon is excited to work for that one asshole at the factory. Wait till he gets to work for other glorious jobs like Taco Bell, Barnes & Noble, and then corporate America. Tractor Chicken is the most white trash I've ever seen. What's next? Boofing tampons soaked in moonshine while singing Kenny Chesney songs?
Boofing.
Boofing. You know what boofing is, right?
I do know what boofing is.
No, I can only imagine.
But I think you should explain it for our listeners.
Way worse than what it really is.
Boofing is where you soak
regret it.
Boofing is where you soak a tampon in an alcohol and then shove it up your asshole to get buzzed or fucked up faster because it mainlines right in your bloodstream.
Wait a second, does that really work?
I don't know, Kevin Israel. What was it like? What was it like pledging the music fraternity? Tell everybody.
That's why I'm moving around so much right now.
Boofing. Good Lord.
Outlawed dancing, right? But they can't get cable in that white trash town. Wait till those kids discover scrambled porn on channel 95 like we did.
That's a nipple. That's a nipple.
No, you have to click back and forth every 4 to 6 seconds.
Oh
I give this film an automatic half-point bump up for an 80s music montage. You know that's my sweet spot, Kevin Israel.
Gotta love a good 80s montage.
Love it. Especially a full point, Sean, if they're shopping and it's a music montage.
Oh, shopping montages are
Doesn't miss in my book. Doesn't miss in my book.
It brings back like Meshach Taylor in
Mannequin.
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
I like to think Pretty Woman would be the creme de la creme.
Pretty Woman is definitely the height.
I feel there's never been a straight dude that's gotten so angry they have to dance it out. This is just like the Dane Cook bit. Just got to dance, bro. Just got to dance. By the way, R.I.P. Dane Cook.
Oh, Dane. He's still out there. He's still grinding.
You know he's grinding his face into a bed of nails. Have you seen his skin? Ew.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Laurie's,
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it looks. Yeah, he fell asleep face down on a bed of nails. That's what I think.
Wow.
Laurie's singer's character sounds like she would end up just like Sharon Stone's character in the end of Casino.
In the end of Casino. Yeah, no, she definitely went on to turn tricks. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
She She went to the big city, rebelled against her father, started a heroin addiction, and turned tricks. I think that's.
Oh yeah, she went straight to porn.
And had James Woods pimp her out and slap
I
her.
thought she was kind of hot though, and I think a lot of the reason I thought she was hot was because she, looked so buttoned down and everything. When she was around her dad. I mean, she's got that Little House on the Prairie look going on, and you just know there's something filthy underneath.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't know. It's like prairie fantasy.
She had a pretty face, but she needed to eat a few burgers.
Right.
Heroin chic, Kate Moss, anybody? No? Okay. Good goddamn. I hate John Cougar Mellencamp's It Hurts So Good. It angers me as much as the song Footloose. I fucking hate that song in an immediate turn to the dial if I ever hear that song in my presence. I fucking hate it.
So if I'm interrogating you, I know to strap you to a chair, pin your eyes open, and play John Cougar Mellencamp and Footloose, and you'll definitely end up telling me what I need to know.
And your comedy album, those three. Zing!
You'll have to buy it, so I don't care.
This has to be on the Mount Rushmore of films where black people watch us and say, fucking white people.
Yeah. This was an extremely Caucasian movie.
Yeah. She gives him a music box as a gift. Isn't that cute? I bet $20 he'd rather have her real box.
Didn't say that. I was going to go there, and then I said, nope, that's not good.
Ariel shouldn't worry about having a dance. She should worry about learning how to block her dad's and her ex-boyfriend's punches.
Krav Maga, that'll solve that.
She did get beat around a lot.
Yeah, she did.
She liked it.
Kevin Bacon's haircut looks like he just rolled out of bed and then got shocked 28 times in a row.
No, it looked like Chucky, the Chucky doll.
Oh, yeah, that's good too. Kevin, you beat me to this one. All this trouble for a fucking dance, or you could just move the fuck out of shitty, said, awful town.
Just get out of a flyover state.
All this rigmarole for a dance, and what happens when it finally gets going? Everybody is sitting on their asses. Don't you think that's like when you I don't know, you go to Vegas and the pool party's there, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go get breakfast. Nope, drop your clothes, give me 4 cocktails and start shotgunning, boys. It's go time.
Yeah. What do we think happened to Kevin Bacon's character? I think he went on to work for Carnival Cruises as guy
entertainment director.
He's doing bar mitzvahs and weddings.
He got the bronze in the Noggin Olympics for rhythmic dancing.
Yeah. Bronze.
Sean Penn danced like Rodney Dangerfield did in Caddyshack.
Chris Penn.
But you're right. Did I say Sean? Sorry, Chris Penn. So what? So let's dance. $250,000 was the cost of that reshoot for the final dance scene for it to resemble American Bandstand or Soul Train sans black people.
Big Don Cornelius.
There was the one guy who was able to pop and lock, and I was like, they couldn't have even given that to a black guy. Like they couldn't.
Something.
Yeah, they couldn't have gotten Lamar.
That's his name. Shadadu.
Yeah, they could have gotten Lamar Luttrell from the Revenge of the Nerds to come out.
God, who, by the way, was in the Karate Kid.
I know that. Did I?
Right?
Yes, we talked about that.
When we
no
watched
line.
Yeah,
there's this great meme. There's this great meme that says something like before Daniel fought. It was Larry B. Scott. They had him in the Cobra Kai outfit. He was Lamar. I don't know. I totally botched that.
Lamar Luttrell. When we did our live show, I called that right the fuck out, and that was met with a vicious round of applause and laughter. So
one of the things I really like about being an actor is you never know who you're going to wind up meeting at any given time. And I was doing some autograph show or something in Manhattan, and was hanging out with Larry B. Scott, Lamar, and the kid who played Wormser. Like 24 hours. And it was really fun too.
Awesome. Was it more fun to watch him try and score heroin at the Port Authority?
No. Come on now. Stop.
Okay, they did it Union Square. Excuse me. He's laughing because he wants to say stuff, but he's afraid he's going to run into the next Comic-Con convention.
Luckily, they're all in Comic-Cons now, so you don't see people in person. So maybe
that's true. Good point.
I can't wait till you have to you have to tell stories of what it's like watching Ogre yell out nerds while signing autographs for $15 a pop and watch him go.
I did the television version. They made a pilot of Revenge of the Nerds.
I
And
know
played
it was bad.
the Ted McGill. No, it never aired. I don't think it was horrendous.
I thought it
Oh,
did. I could be wrong, but I thought I remember seeing something like that.
Did it?
It might have.
Oh,
They
my
did
God.
they did a show with the parents, with the main characters as parents, and then it was their kids
That were nerds.
that were nerds. Yeah.
See, a funnier take would have been it's the parents who were nerds and they had really cool hip kids.
Yeah. Well, so in the parents ended up becoming like cool, and then they kind of forgot where they came from, and their kids were nerds.
Guys that are nerds in college go on to be tech billionaires.
Right.
You know, and so you can buy a lot of style and stuff when you're a billionaire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Speaking of Revenge of the Nerds, do you know who played Louis Skolnick's dad in that? Jamie Cromwell. You know, the chief, the lieutenant from L.A. Confidential, and Babe. He was the main character in Babe.
James Cromwell played.
Cromwell, yeah.
Real? Yes, he did. Oh my God, yes, he did. Because you know why? Because they kind of changed his look so much. I had to think about it for a second, but you're right. Yeah.
Thanks to this podcast, I've been forced to watch films I had no desire whatsoever to watch. Grease, Dirty Dancing, and now Footloose. There is nothing about this film that resonated with me. Nothing I could relate to, but it's just fine. I don't need to relate to everything that I see. And by the way, this was based on a true story. But I just can't buy into nor care about a town that's ruled by a preacher's selfishness and control over the town of dancing. What's this? English taking dominion over the Irish because they weren't allowed to dance, and now we have Irish folk dancing because of that. Yuck, gross. The kids who just want to dance, no one is buying this. No one cares. I could care less about the characters. Chicken tractor races. Has this ever happened? Racing toward each other at 8 miles an hour, dancing out your anger in abandoned warehouses. If people want to see kids dancing to a pretty good soundtrack, sans the 2 songs that make me mental, fine. But not because of this story. This film sucks monkey asshole, but not as bad as Grease. 2.5 out of 10. Fuck this film.
Wow.
Yeah. I concur.
As the words of Blaine Merriweather and Antoine from Men on Film, hated it.
Deformation.
With a twist and a kiss. Critics 5-star reviews. I will always be grateful for the way this film has positively impacted my life.
5-star reviews.
A dated rebellion tale. I know it's not a classic, but I wanted more dancing. Great hair, though. Only the most cynical would never admit to tapping their toes to Logan's title track. Well, I guess I'm that cynical asshole.
Yeah, I think everybody listening will agree.
Critics 1-star reviews. Footloose turns out to be a Boy Scout version of Flashdance, a carefully toned down, overly respectable piece of schmaltz.
Schmaltz.
Yeah. That's one of your words there, Kevin.
That is my people.
It's
Kevin.
my too. Remember the
That's
tribe.
right. Look at you. Kevin Bacon moves like a machete chopping through the jungle. I don't know if that's
a good thing or a bad thing.
I couldn't. Thank you. I'm like, that doesn't sound that
Thank you.
bad. All right.
Isn't that what a machete's supposed to do?
Right.
You're right. It was effective, I guess. I don't know.
See, if you want to be insulting, you'd say he dances like Michael J. Fox got struck by lightning. That would be insulting to dancing.
Oh,
Nope. Stayed away from that.
good decision, Sean.
Oh, we're gonna see him at the Comic-Con where he's autographing hoverboards. Goofy, he's a nice guy here.
The man's a national treasure.
He is, but actually Canadian treasure. He's not ours.
You're right. Good point.
Lawyered. The goofy breakdancing session at the senior prom that closes Footloose is a poor substitute for either the wildly pleasurable spectacles of past Hollywood musicals or the exaggerated pathos of a great team film like Rebel Without a Cause.
They didn't like the breakdancing? That was their problem?
Footloose is a seriously confused movie that tries to do 3 things and does all 3 of them badly. Amazon 5-star reviews. Hello, if you have not seen this movie, I would be shocked. I would also urge you to watch it right now. I initially watched this movie while I was living in Sweden in 1985. I loved it, my husband loved it, and my kids loved it. It was very entertaining. The story was easy to follow and very interesting. The cast was just excellent in every way possible, and the music rocked. At the time, Sweden did not have public television broadcasting, so renting VCR tapes was what we watched in the evening for entertainment. Also, a lot of fun and card games. Not that there was ever a short of movies to rent, but Footloose was watched many times over. Fast forward to today. What's a VCR tape and who is Kenny Loggins? A young Kevin Bacon is way hotter than the young Huma Doodle It in the remake. And while Julianne Hough is obviously better looking and a better dancer than Laurie Singer, that character isn't the main vantage point of the script. It unbalanced the remake, Imo. Plus, young Sarah Jessica Parker, who famously morphed into iconic Sarah Jessica Parker, is refreshing. It's nice to know we can all evolve from goofy and gangly and awkward into fashionistas, given the budget. LOL.
Did anyone buy Sarah Jessica Parker as a Gentile in this town? Because for me, I'm immediately like, it's the one Jewish girl in the town that obviously does not look like it's overly tolerant of
anything.
Jewish people. Yeah. So, I mean, she just did not ring of being, a Presbyterian or whatever.
She definitely had a few bricks thrown through her window.
A la School Ties. Last 5-star review. I love the movie, the cast, the music. I cannot imagine living in an area that did not have the chance to jam their tunes. I recall the hubby and I going into an area while camping, wanting some drinks. We are not drinkers, well, real drinkers. And the lady at Walmart was like, "This is a dry country." Are you kidding me? I mean, it was like 2 years or less ago. Is in the 2000s at least. Aren't they missing out on money that way? But in Louisiana, you can go to a Walmart and hard liquor is on the bottom shelf where the little ones can't touch it. So, I mean, the world is wild. I guess we all have our ways, but such a moving movie. You understand how grown-up kids, would feel in a high school situation with religious beliefs, etc. I guess I can understand certain rules, but not so many.
Jesus.
Well done.
Signed, my horn sounds the General Lee theme. I should say RV.
I just don't see liking this movie enough to sit down and basically write a Yelp review about it. You know what I mean?
I have no idea what people write.
Well, Sean, you're going to appreciate this next section because this is the Amazon 1-star reviews.
Yeah, do those.
Believe it or not, I have not seen this when it came out. Ugh, those who love to claim this must only remember it through nostalgia-filtered glasses. It utterly is horrible. Dude is so angry he dances it out. Ugh. And then Tractor Chicken. How bad is this? Watch it with my kids who quipped, "God, Dad, this was actually popular when you were a kid."
Oh my God.
Next one. Too noisy for old folks.
That is my mom wrote that. That's
Mrs.
Rhoda Israel got on Amazon and wrote a review.
Ugh, the acting is bad. The music very dated. The dancing at times downright silly looking. The storyline trite. Small town has outlawed dancing, but the kids got to fight for their right. Add in a romantic subplot. New kid in town, quote unquote. Hunk steals the heart of the pastor's daughter from the high school tough guy. Sheesh. I can't believe this was ever considered a good movie. But hey, back in 1984, what did we know? The only redeeming part of this flick is Kenny Loggins' very danceable theme song of the same name. Please, honey, don't make me watch this again. If you want a movie with some dance, Dirty Dancing is far better.
Yes.
Potty mouth sex charged attempt to glorify adolescent disobedience.
Wait, potty mouth what?
Potty mouth sex charge attempt to glorify adolescent disobedience.
I don't think I understand.
My.
What was potty mouthed about it?
Well, if someone said the word hell or damn, that's enough to set someone's bloomers in a bunch.
Somebody did say faggot at one point.
They did. They did, which not good.
No.
Was that your safe word back in 1984, Sean, or no?
No, mine was Gewürztraminer.
Oh, mine is Chattanooga. And bacon. And bacon isn't just for breakfast anymore, LOL. Well, anyway, this movie is pretty bad. The homoerotic overtones are as subtle as a car crash. The church's closed-minded response to the young man, who only wants to take his buddy out in the fields or in the empty gym and hold his hands and gyrate to "Let's hear it for the boy, man alive, give me a break." At least they weren't wearing leg warmers, which is about the only 80s fashion statement they failed to use and overuse in this flick. Sarah Jessica Parker shows us early how untalented she is, and the final scene where kids have heretofore never danced and are able to look like the trendsetters on Soul Train. Whatever genius thought up this script should definitely look into another line of work. I hear McDonald's is hiring.
It would be. What else did this guy write?
He also wrote Jade, Showgirls, and Pluto Nash.
No. Joe Westerhouse wrote. No, come on.
I know.
Did you write anything though?
No, what's the review? Oh, the screenwriter?
No. I mean the guy that wrote Footloose. What else did he write?
Dude, you have IMDb in front of you. What the fuck? No.
I don't.
I don't know. I'll look up in a second. Last one.
All right,
Major spoiler. There was no loose foot. Just a bunch of white people dancing to country music with a splash of pop.
Mm.
The way you said was kind of creepy, but it made me laugh. I'm not going to lie. Kevin Israel, did Sean Kanan gut the sacred cow?
Yeah, you know, I'm hesitant to even say this is a sacred cow, but because we decided it was a sacred cow, Sean gutted this motherfucker,
and it deserved it. Left it in the street as it should be.
Yeah, this was a fair and unabashed gutting. Congratulations.
I think like a little side hustle for your show ought to be sequels that really sucked, or remakes, not sequels, remakes that sucked from great movies. Because there's a lot of those. I mean, like, think about like the remake of Rollerball. I mean, Rollerball was an iconic film, and the remake was just utter and complete trash. And there's so many like that I think that would be kind of an interesting thing to gut some of those bastards.
But that's been done. There are other podcasts that do gut those shitty films. We all in our website every day, Monday through Friday, we do a theme of the list of 10, and we have done 10 of the worst I think we've done for sure 10 of the worst reboots ever done, or 10 of the worst sequels that are ever done, or 10 sequels that were better than the first. So, but yeah, that's listen, there are times sequels are better, but yeah, it's too easy to shit on the Rollerball remake. I mean, that's been done a million times.
That's child's play, right? It's too easy.
Yeah.
Hey, to answer Sean's question, the writer wrote Footloose, our Footloose remake, Cinderella Frozen in Time, The Washing Machine Man, Sing from 1989, and yeah, Footloose. Oh, he also wrote the 2011 Footloose.
Oh,
well, go with what you know, right? But I'm more interested. The Washing Man's, was it the Washing Man? What?
The
Washing
Machine Man.
That sounds like a movie. That sounds like porno, not a real film.
Did you guys even hear? I've never even heard of that.
No, I have not.
No, this guy whose name is
unemployed.
Dean Pitchford. He's actually a very successful soundtrack engineer. I don't know. It just says soundtracks. He does something with soundtracks. Which makes sense.
Hey, listen, I need you to write this film. Hold on. I'm too busy conducting a score right now for Fame. He did Fame? Holy shit.
He did the soundtrack for Fame.
He did the soundtrack for Fame. Chances are in Shrek 2. It's like, dude, Crossing the Streams is very bad. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Yeah, because that's a major career doing those films as a sound engineer.
Oh, yeah. He's had a long, extensive career, both in TV and movie, but his writing claim to fame was Footloose.
Yeah. Sean, you've been a blast to hang out with. This has been enjoyable. Tell the good folks what you're up to, where we can find you, all that good stuff.
What am I up to? So I've got my show on Amazon Prime called Studio City. It's an Emmy Award-winning digital drama that I created. And I got a new book coming out soon. It's available for pre-order called Way of the Cobra at wayofthecobra.com.
Nice.
Kevin Israel?
I'm more interested in making the prediction prediction that we're going to see him in Cobra Kai season 4, but
It's done. It's done. That he's a shitty poker player. You're invited to our game.
I can't wait till season 4 comes out. I'm gonna be like, I know that guy. I know that guy. KevinIsrael.com. Comedy's trickling back. So if you're willing to brave some stuff, now the show's going to come out after I'm where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
I get my comedy album, The Struggle Is Real, on iTunes and everywhere else you get sound stuff. And yeah, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. That matters. It affects algorithms. It's a whole mathematical thing that we don't understand, but when you do it, more people listen to our podcast, and that's what we're looking for. So stop being lazy. We do so much for you. All we ask you to do is write a couple sentences on iTunes.
And if you have a product or a brand you want to advertise, email us, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com, kevingoatee.com. And I also have a show on Amazon, not Emmy Award winning, 8 seasons of comics, watching comics on Amazon Prime. That's right now, kids. Get it. Check it out. Sean, you've been a joy. I cannot wait for you to get back out here to the East Coast where you can hang out with Bill and myself and Kevin as well. And we'll have some good old-fashioned merriment and tomfoolery. And maybe General Debauchery shows up. You never know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at least Colonel Debauchery. You guys, thank you so much. A lot of fun, man. And I think it's a great show you have. And I'm really happy you guys asked me to do it. So thank you. And I want to wish you all the best. Stay safe, okay?
Thank you.
All right, guys, take care.